All right. Oh, God. Publish rejected. Why? This is not great today, guys. All right, let's see. One of these is not working. Facebook. Let's see if we can fix this. Apparently I got a new stream key on Facebook. All right, let's try. Save and close. Start stream 2. Let's see if we can go live on Facebook. Let's see. Come on, baby. Let's go. All right, here we go. I see a feed. Awesome. All right. So I'm back. If you missed last week's live stream, it's not you, it was me. I did go live, but I have learned that apparently I don't have enough subscribers for those live videos for my mobile to automatically be public. So I will, after today's episode, make last week's episode live. It was a special treat only on YouTube. And what I did is I had a lot of technical problems when I sat down at my computer and then decided, F it, I'm just going to go ahead and go live on from my phone. So I gave viewers a tour of what I've been working on in the living room. And a little tour of the house, a few things like that. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay. Hi guys, thanks so much. I know I'm starting late today, but we all know somehow the algorithm loves it when I start late, and we'll see what kind of turnout we get today. But yes, I am post Riot Fest. 3 days of being at a music festival. Got back last night around 11 o'clock. Went to work today somehow, and here I am. Am I shouting? I feel like I might be. I'm sorry. I don't have my ear things in, which is usually what keeps me not to shout. So let's go through all the motions here, guys. Let's go pro. We're going pro here. So, first of all, Marcus, thank you for messaging me, and I didn't message you back to let you know. I saw that you were telling me that I need to make my video public so people could find it. Because Kelly was like, Lynn, I couldn't find your video. And I'm like, it's there. I did it. I promise. And she's like, I swear it's not there. So we were both right. It's not there, but I did do it. I'm going to pull up chat, which I started to do. And so this should only take a second. Oh, frickin'. Please don't tell me no. Okay, that's fine. You guys. So the title of today's episode is Playing That Dangerous Game of Hope Again. Yeah, this one snuck up on me, and I'm gonna go back to kind of the original theme of our video. And can you also tell, like, the lighting is different today, first of all. That is partially because well, my tech is messed up. Only half of I have 2 lights in the studio here, and only one of them is on. So I turned it up and I turned it to cool to try and make my face look a little less red. So if I've got a little bit of a glow going on and a little bit of a messy look, that's it. That's what's up. But here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about hope. We're going to talk about that Bert and I, another foster call that we received, and I'm going to talk about Riot Fest a little bit because I had a blast. And hey, you know what better way to do it than talking about it here? Okay, here we go. It's that over 40 lighting. Thanks, Elliot. I'm not over 40, for the record. Okay, I'm still under 40 for just a little bit longer. All right, guys, but thank you, and thank you, Elliot. Post Riot Fest, Lynn is my favorite, Lynn. So those of you that don't know that if you're not from Chicago, and if you didn't, I don't know if I even talked about going to Riot Fest last week, but anyway, Riot Fest is a festival in Chicago. My hair's a mess. It's clean. My hair's clean, but it's just a mess. The Riot Fest is a lot of like punk, ska, rock bands, the kind of music that I have just always been attracted to. And what they do is they bring back a lot of the bands that I used to listen to in like high school and in early in college, the bands I used to go see concerts of all the time. So when I go, I am just transported back to, I don't know, youthful Lynn, who used to go to the punk rock shows and dance and sing along and everything. And it's crazy, right? The lyrics we can remember from that, you haven't heard these songs in 20 years. Like, and they all just come back, and all of a sudden you're singing these words that you haven't thought of for forever, but they're still there. They're rattling around in your brain, I promise. It's crazy, the sound memory that can, that we've got built in. I don't know, do you have any songs like that or music like that? Like, think about it, like music you used to listen to. Think about what you were listening to 20 years ago. And then try to think, are there bands from 20 years ago that you have not listened to since then? Yeah, Andy. Hey, buddy. Music is magic. Absolutely. Andy, great to see you. There's a great name I haven't seen in a bit. So yeah, music was absolutely magic. And I have a little story where there's a divider at this festival for every stage, and I think there's 5 stages total. We spent most of our time on, there are about 4 of them, and there's a kind of a barricade that they build down the middle from the sound booth to the stage. So the crowd is split into 2 halves, and at this one stage that we spent a lot of time at, we were always on the right side, house right, as Andrew would put it, who was our Riot Fest buddy that we watched a lot of the shows with, and we got pretty close to the stage for some of our favorite bands. Well, Less Than Jake, which is a ska band, and please let me know if you've heard of them, because that'll just, I don't know, it'll make me smile to know that other people also listen to ska. And in particular, Less Than Jake was like, I don't know, they used to play like the suburbs of Chicago. Like that's how small they were back when I used to listen to them. And it was so cool. That show, we decided for some reason to be on the left side of the barricade, which happened to be the side of the barricade that decided to do a circle pit, which is a whole bunch of people kind of like skanking, which is a weird word, but that's the type of dance for ska, where you kind of like kick your feet forward and like move your arms like kind of like really drastically like this, and and then kind of like push each other, but not in like pushing down type of way, to like keep on moving and like this energy, and everybody smiling, and everybody like, you don't get dragged into the pit if you don't want to go in. Like me and Bert were on the outside, but like this pit just formed, and all of a sudden we were like on the perimeter of it, and people are like pushing through to get into it, and but no one's pushing us in. That was the cool thing. So we had to, keep moving people along, and if people fall down, it's so cool, guys. Everybody picks them up right away. Nobody's getting hurt. Everyone's having the time of their lives, and and like everyone like on the sides of the stage, like like the crew and everything for the band, they're all like watching this circle pit go on, and they're all smiling. Like, it is like so cool to see this, I don't know, this band bring that energy to the crowd. It was really cool, and I felt young again. I felt very young, and I was like you can tell, like I'm smiling so big just thinking about it. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. So, and the music was awesome. The band sounded incredible, and they had the horns and everything, and it was just awesome. It was really cool. We saw My Chemical Romance, and if you're not familiar with them, they kind of have like the anthem, the emo anthem, Black Parade, I think, and they play their set, and they sound incredible. The excellent performance. Like, so emo music is like a lot of times people associate with like crying and like the heavy eyeliner, and people are so emotional and stuff. And guys, I swear, I thought I was the most like emo person I knew, but then as we're leaving the show right after My Chemical Romance played, like people are literally like crying. They are actually crying, and I'm like, oh shit, I am not that emo. I am not crying like these people are. But it was awesome. Hey John, you're here too. Awesome, this is great, John. See, this is what starting late does. Gets you a whole bunch of algorithm views that you don't normally get here. Kind of like the Charleston, but more violent. Absolutely. That's hilarious. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, yeah. And my dad, you guys know, we've talked about him and his cover band. Being in a band and seeing the audience dance is the best. Yeah, we definitely brought the energy, and it was really nice to hear the bands appreciate the crowd. It was really cool because a lot of them haven't played together in so long, and they poured out the love to the crowd, and we just gave it back, and it was a really good vibe. Yeah. Oh, hi Kim. Thanks so much. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a tiring time. I definitely wanted to take naps during the day, but wanted to stay cool. And not let all the younger people there know that I'm not as young as them. Definitely wasn't the oldest person there either. There was a group of three gentlemen that were standing next to us for one of the shows, and I leaned over to my friends. I'm like, "Is that us in 5 years or 10 years?" And they're like, "10 years, 10 years." 5 years. That's us in 5 years. It's like we're getting older faster than we realize, right? But we still had a blast. We made it all 3 days. We got there, saw some bands that I had never seen live, never knew what to expect, and I was so pleasantly surprised. And now I'm a super fan. The Yeah Yeah Yeahs, to name like one really big one that surprised me. 9 Inch Nails finished up the festival last night. We didn't actually stay for the whole thing. We watched, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs, and it was cool. And Trent Reznor is amazing, and it was a lot of strobing lights, and they were very tight and everything. And please, if you're a 9 Inch Nails fan, like, do not take this as a knock. I loved seeing what I saw, but I also was like, that's enough for me. It's a little heavier than I normally listen to, and yeah. Anyway, and hey, hey Brian, how's it going? I feel like I'm like, is it Brian or is it Paul? I'm like, oh my god, I am losing my mind right now. But yeah, hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out. So yeah, so I guess I skipped ahead and I just talked Riot Fest first. But yeah, it was. If you ever get the chance in Chicago and you're into that kind of music, like, make it happen. I don't know if it's going to be at Douglas Park next year because the neighborhood is trying to get them kicked out. But wherever it is, if it happens, that's the one I recommend. I've never been to Lollapalooza. Like, Riot Fest is like my go-to festival, and Lolla is like the big one in Chicago, and this is one of the other big ones, but not quite as big ones. Oh, and also they had was really cool to see Coolio and Ice Cube last night too, and that was awesome because I've never seen them in person, and they did a really great job too. So guys, so let's talk. And oh, thank you, Andy. And thanks, Kim, for pointing out too that I have 802 subscribers now. Sweet. Yes, please do. For sure, like and subscribe if you haven't. And Andy's saying I have such a happy, glowing energy. I've missed it. And you, thank you so much. I've missed, I've missed interacting with the live streaming pros community so much. But I'm so glad that like we find each other and support each other through all this. My phone's going off, but I'm not going to answer my phone in the middle of a live stream. I'm sorry. It's one of my workers. They'll wait. Brian Paul. Okay, I knew it. I'm like, I was pretty confident, and I'm like, I'm going with it because we make mistakes sometimes, and you know what? They'll correct us. Oh, that happened at the show. After the show, there was some guy goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And I looked at it, and I'm like, is this guy mistaken? Does he know me and think I'm someone else? Is this awkward for him? And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then he's like, it was a great show, right? And I'm like, yeah, it was a great show. And I'm like, do I know this guy? Do I know this guy? I felt so embarrassed, guys. And then it was like, I think it was a somewhat okay interaction, but I didn't like drop a name or be like, hey guy, and Bert says we played soccer with him, and I hope I wasn't too weird, but god damn it, sometimes those moments happen, right? Okay, so anyways, oh yeah, Andy, Ravinia, yep, so Ravinia is a big, they have a really cool amphitheater, but then they have this ginormous lawn, and what Ravinia is known for is like packing a picnic, bringing a bottle of wine and some glasses, putting out your blanket or chairs or whatever, and just hanging. So you don't really watch the show as much as you listen to the show with all these people, and it's a really cool vibe. So that's another sweet spot. So if you're in or around Chicago, check it out. Summer music in Chicago is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the title of today's episode, which I called it, what did I call it here? Playing that dangerous game of hope again. Okay. So, this one, this is a weird one, right? We've talked about hope so much during this journey of trying to get pregnant and going through IUI and IVF and everything, and then switching over to fostering and all the ups and downs, right? The milestones we celebrate and the milestones we hope to get to. And so much of that is filled with hope, and it gets exhausting. And as if you've been following our journey, the having that hope and it being just dashed away, not getting the results that you're hoping for. I kind of had like given up on trying to get pregnant. Like, it's not that we've always been trying. We never like gave up on trying. Like, we're still doing the thing that makes babies, you know what I mean? But we're not doing the whole like tracking of the cycles. We're not seeing fertility doctors. We're not doing it as intensely as we had been the past couple of years, right? Especially not as intensely as we did last year. And it was weird. It's not like this month was that much different than any other month, but for some reason, I was like, I hope we get pregnant this month. And so we had done it around the time that we should have done it, like we usually do. And I don't know why, but for some reason I thought something feels different this time. Why does it feel different? It feels different. Kind of gives me that, like that there's a little thing that happens. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I think you know what I mean. I bet it's happened to you before. Like, you're just like, oh, I kind of hope this thing happens. And so I get, through my cycle, and my period's one day late, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, don't get excited, Lynn. Don't get excited. But it's there. It's already, the idea is there. I've already seen it on my calendar. Like, you can't get it out of my head. Like, hey, maybe this is happening. And, oh, shit, like, what am I going to do? And it just goes wild in your head, like this hope monster. I'm going to call it that because that's what it felt like. It's like this evil thing that's like once, that hope has been dashed away, it turns into a goblin of like sadness and frustration and anger. And that's what happened on Saturday morning. Aunt Flo showed up a day late, and she's like, oh yeah, you're going to Riot Fest today? I'm going to come along. And guess what? I brought my friend. Super duper hard cramps. Oh, great. The three of us. I didn't get you guys tickets, but all right, I'll sneak you in. So that sucked. And it was just like a lot to be carrying, when I'm trying to have a good time with Bert at the show, and a full day of energy and music and good times and everything, but still this horrible dashed feeling of hope, that is like blowing up. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that. And even if you're not trying to get pregnant, I'm sure that this feeling of hope being just completely, head cut off, I sure think everybody can relate to that in one way or another at some point in their life. Yes. Hope monster. I like it. A hope monster. I think from now on, I'm going to be like, yeah, the hope monster's back. Circle of hope. That's right. It certainly does feel like a circle. It feels like a cycle. It feels like, just as regular as the moon and the sun. You're going round and round. Bringing tidal waves of feeling and emotion. And you would think, hey, Lynn, you're at a concert, you're at an emo concert, why don't you cry about it? Fucking probably should have. I definitely screamed it out, which is actually a lot more fulfilling for me. So I don't know, guys, if you have any stories of, where your hope's been dashed away, or if you want to share anything, please do in the comments. I feel like I don't know. It can apply to so many different things, hope of getting a job, hope of getting into a certain school, or hoping that a new recipe that you're trying turns out right and it just tastes like garbage and you have to serve it. I don't know if that's ever happened, but hey, if you've got a story and you can relate to this, please, by all means, share in the comments. Laura is saying, I like Hope Monster too. I actually had that this month for some reason too. Something felt different, and I thought it all timed out well, but no, Aunt Flo showed up right on time again. Yep, Laura, what is it this month? I don't know what gave us hope. It's kind of evil, kind of really evil, but I'm in there with you. Yes, this exactly. I did what I shouldn't and started thinking how I'd tell my family and husband. Okay, crazy thing. Like, so did I. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody. Like, if it happens, I'm going to keep it a secret. And then, good thing, because, well, it didn't happen. So there's no secret to keep. It's almost like, well, might as well tell you because there's no secret. Yeah. And Bert is saying the Hope Monster is for sure emo. I think we should write a song. So, hey, any musicians out there, feel free. Take this idea and run with it. It is there, and you can just let me play it on my channel, and hey, we'll make it big. The Hope Monster. So that's kind of why I put that in the title today. I feel like a very relatable feeling. Okay, what else did I say I was going to talk about? Oh, yes. So on our foster journey, as you know, we've been getting calls fairly regularly. That was a hard word right now. And this time we got a call on Thursday. And I said, first it was our okay, this person keeps on calling. Let's see what's going on here. Need time, live streaming. Okay, sorry guys. This is the problem, and I'm really sorry, and I apologize if I lost any of you there. This is part of my frustration lately of working in the job that I do is that it is like it's not 9 to 5. It is, yeah, sure, I'm in the office 9 to 5, but it is not turn off my phone 9 to 5. And I'm exhausted from it. And even when I was at the festival over the weekend, every single day I had to check in on something, check in on my workers, and it's frustrating. And I love what I do, but it gets exhausting, right? Like, and I'm not, look, I know a lot of people have to do this with their jobs, but also there's a lot of people that don't. And I'm at a point where I'm like, do I love my job enough to constantly have to have my phone on? And is this fair to Bert? And is it fair to my friends when I'm hanging out? And is it fair to me? And is it fair to the person calling me when I've had a few drinks? Anyway, okay. I did lose a few people on that one. I'm so sorry. Here we go. We're back on track. And we were talking about the call that we got last week. And I had told our foster parent advocate that we are not taking any kids for the weekend. And she goes, don't worry. This is one that actually, like, again, they're already in a placement and they need somebody else. Guys, we were so close on this one. We were a great match and they would have come, but they are like 5 hours away. Illinois is a very long state. Long state. There we go. And they're like way further south. And we're like up way north. We're practically in Wisconsin when you think about like how long Illinois is. So that was the only the bad side. There we go. And we said, look, we're willing to take them if you don't find someone closer. We were going to take them this Friday coming up. And was a 7-year-old boy, and he sounded great. It sounded like we would be a perfect fit for him. And it's like a true foster thing where mom is working hard to get him back, and we would be working with mom on like, staying in touch and like giving her progress updates on him in school and all these great things. And then we, not that we got our hopes up, but we were like, you know what though, but visitations would be really a lot on the little guy if he had to go 5 hours each direction to see mom for a couple of hours. And that's not on us to drive him. That's part of the foster system. They have the caseworkers and helpers for those kinds of commutes. But the bad thing was, was the distance. We said, look, if you don't find someone closer, we'll take him. Today we got the update that the person he's actually already placed with decided not to interrupt or disrupt. So she's going to keep him after all. So I don't know if you have any questions about that, let me know in the chat. But this is, this is part of the constant, like we're constantly getting calls, and yet we still have only had the set of sisters actually placed in our house. And I don't think that this is normal, but also if you're watching and you're in the foster community, whether you're watching now in it live or in the replay, please let us know your experience, because I don't know if we're I mean, are we doing something wrong here? Why don't we have kids in our house? But this is our journey. This is part of, the ups and downs. And I would not say that the hope of having a kid placed with us is this at the same level of the hope of being pregnant. The cycle of getting the calls and thinking about it is a totally different experience of decision making. It's like thinking, are we a good fit? Are they a good fit? What are the things we're going to need to do for the kids? What are the obstacles? What's the time like? And they definitely tell you, they make it clear, make sure that you say yes only if it's the right fit. So we've taken that to heart. And as I talked about a couple weeks ago, we had to say no to a set of sisters. And it was a really hard decision, and it weighs on you because you don't know where they're going if they're not going with you. And I don't know. There's a bunch of guilt that comes with that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to check in your comments here. So crazy, the foster system. Absolutely. And the Hope Monster has magical evil powers. Absolutely, too. And then I'm going to leave you guys on this comment today, or this thought. I don't know, but if anybody does know, please enlighten me. I've been thinking about a lot of, these politicians have these, I don't know, the whole abortion rights, choice, everything has been a big part of people's platforms. And I know that a lot of politicians are scaling back on it and rewriting how they're saying things. But I had this idea, like, what if we start like telling our politicians, hey, we want actually more support for birth moms, like pregnant women? Because one of the biggest concerns that I heard today, I can't remember who was saying it, but they were basically saying women should have a choice on, whether they're ready or not for kids. Okay, yes, that is their choice, and I agree with that. But also, is there a way to incorporate people that are willing to adopt? Like, is this something? Because the people that are willing to adopt also, once they get into this arena, learn how expensive it is to adopt, because the people who are willing to adopt are the ones that often have to foot the bill for the birth mother and all that. What if we can fix a lot of this? And I don't know, could the government help subsidize that? Like, I don't know if that actually is a thing in some states or not. Is this a wild idea? I don't know. But I don't know. Is it a crazy idea to help, like, bring these two sides together to, I don't know. But if cost is an issue for birth moms, not only if she's not ready for a kid, but also willing to go through with the pregnancy, and have that paid for, whether it's the government or, an agency or whatever. Right now, it's the the birth parents who are paying for it in all the cases that I've heard. I don't know a lot about this, but it is just a thought that went through my head, and I don't think I'm articulating it very well. But let me know if this makes sense, if anything in there makes sense at all. Oh, I'm a little off today, but thank you for hanging out with me and listening to my stories about Riot Fest and listening to my Hope Monster story, and that you have a hope monsters too sometimes, and just know that you're not alone when your hope monster lets you down. And I don't know if there's any other stories out there or comments or anything. I think there might be one more coming through here, but thanks guys for hanging out and sticking around and knowing that I would show up today, even though I never schedule my lives, but you knew that I'd be here anyway, so thank you. All right, we do have a few comments here. Thank you guys, because I was like, I'm putting a lot out here. This political stuff is stuff I don't like bringing into my channel. I can have my opinions and stuff outside of it, but it's not something that I can really speak well on my channel. So it makes sense. If some politicians dictate that abortion is wrong, adoption should be a better supported option. Yeah, and I think I think that's the thing, is like they're just like, yeah, figure it out. And there is obviously government funding for, to a certain extent, for when for less fortunate people. I don't know how to best say that, but um yeah, it's there, it's kind of like, hey, we're just taking away these rights and not offering, I don't know, a better solution, or a way to, I don't know. And maybe there are out there. I don't know what the program. I've never had to go through the steps. I've never had to be in the shoes of a woman who has to consider abortion. So I don't know. I don't know what the counseling is like. I'm sure that, adoption is brought up to them before, that decision is just made, and I'm sure that's part of the counseling, right? There has to be counseling that goes with this. It's a really big decision. It's a decision a woman has to live with for the rest of her life. Anyway, 100% here it is. It would be great if we could take the politics out of it. I couldn't agree more. And concentrate on what best helps all the people. Yes, this is exactly it. If the government is going to get involved, please give us the money to make the solutions, but stop making this a political point where people are going to elect you based on this fucking topic. I hate so badly that this is what is included in all of these politicians' talking points. Hate it so much. And Kelly, thank you for commenting. I think it's a great idea to bridge the gap between mothers willing to adopt an unborn child and others looking to adopt a child. Yeah. I wish it was not such a tough thing now, where you have to have an agency and you have to have all this home study and everything. Like, you have to be licensed to be a parent before you can even adopt a child. Like, it's complicated, guys. It's super complicated. Like, obviously they're not going to give babies to just anybody that wants one, and who knows, they have to make sure that that's not someone that feasts on babies, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for, but there's parents out there that are ready to love a baby, and there's plenty of parents out there that don't love their babies. And please, can we just work together? And the foster system is, we're here, we're in it, but I can tell you firsthand experience, it's not the best. I can tell you that right now. And Marcus is saying it's totally different here in Switzerland. Yeah. But thank you, guys. Thank you for listening to my rant and my crazy ideas, and helping me making it a little bit cleaner. I appreciate you so much. I'll be back next week. I got to get off this live stream and go see what my employee is talking about, and he's blowing up my phone. So, yes, baby eaters, hope monsters. Oh my, I know this has been a very dark episode. It's very emo, man. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm gonna see if any of my buttons here work for the credits, but if they don't, we're just gonna fade to black. I don't know, that was my emo face. I don't know if that came through. All right, I'll see you next Monday. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week, and I hope that the hope monster doesn't bite you. And if it does, I hope it's in a good way. All right. See you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Yes, it worked. Without music. Let's see. No music there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is very Oktoberfest-ish. Getting ready.